Sarah's Stampin' Retreat. Today we're going to be making a Diamond Easel fold card, and we're going to be using stuff from this Wheel of Time suite. So we've got the Well Done stamp set, we've got the papers, so this is a pack of 6x6 papers, and you get 12 different designs. You get 4 of each design, so 48 pieces altogether. So I'll just quickly show you those so you can see what you get. And then there's a coordinating punch that goes with it, so we'll be using that punch today as well. So the first thing that we'll be doing today is making the card base. So to do that, I've got a 10" by 5" piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock, and I'm going to score that at 5 inches and at 2.5 inches. And then I'm going to fold that in half, and I'm going to fold it again like that. So then the next thing that I want to do is I want to measure halfway across the bottom. So I'm going to mark that at 2.5 inches, and then I'm going to use the line on my paper trimmer. I'm just going to line up the part that I've marked and this first score line, so that I'm going to cut a triangle off it. And you could do this with any trimmer, you just need to line it up wherever your cutting line is. I do actually really like this trimmer though, because you get a nice clean cut. You can see there's no frayed edges or anything on that. And I've had this for quite a while now, and this is my first blade as well. If you watch my YouTube tutorials often, then you'll know how much I use it, and I've never changed the blade in it. So it is one that I would recommend if you're looking for a trimmer, because I like the fact that it scores and trims as well. So then I'm just tracing along the sides of this, because I want to create the same shape at the back. If you don't want to trace it and you want to measure it again, you can just measure 2.5 inches across the bottom, that's halfway, and the same up the sides, and just join the marks that you've put on. So there we go, so we've got our card blank now. Right, so then I'm going to take this piece of cardstock and I'm going to cut it at 4 3/4 inches square, so that we can make a map for our card. Then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to just measure it at the bottom. So I want it to be half of this, so I want it to be 2 3/8 here, then 2 3/8 at the side, and the same at this side, 2 3/8 again. And then just going to cut from corner to corner again. So we're just lining up the 2 lines on the cutting line, and then we just go over that. You can always rub off your pencil marks afterwards. And then that fits perfectly on there. So then I'm going to make a piece to fit on here as well. So then I'm just going to measure along here because we need a square mat that fits on there. So that's 3.5 inches. So I want a 3.25 inch square mat. And I'm going to cut that from this here. So I want to be 3.25 inches. And I'm going to use this piece here. You've got to remember that it's going to be on a diamond, so it needs to look right this way. But I'm happy with how that looks that way. So then I'm just going to punch the whale. I'm going to punch it once from Misty Moonlight cardstock. So I'm going to use the main whale piece and this little fin piece from there. Then I've got some Night and Navy cardstock. And I can just line that up so that I just get, I want this piece here out of that. So I'm just going to line that up. And then you don't need to, you could always draw an eye on there if you don't want to punch it out, but I've got a piece of basic black cardstock with a bit of double-sided sheet on the back, and you can see I've used this for die cutting and punching before, and I just want the little eye out of that, so I'm just moving it so that I don't get too much more out and don't waste the paper. So there's my little eye. Like I say, if you don't want to bother with that little eye, then you can always draw it on. So I'm going to glue my whale together. I think I'm going to have him facing that way. And then I'm just going to take this off the back of here. So then I've got a little bit of Coastal Cabana cardstock here, and I'm just going to do the little splashes in the Coastal Cabana. So I've got a 3.5 inch square piece of cardstock here. I'm just going to map this on. So I'm going to pop this up on here. And I'm just going to glue these pieces over top. So then I'm just going to glue our mat on the bottom. And then I'm going to glue this piece onto here. So I'm just going to put the glue onto here because we only want to stick it onto that piece. And I'm going to use this little bit of cardstock. And I'm going to use this Hoping All Your Birthday Fishes Come True. And then I'm going to use my Misty Moonlight light ink to stamp this in the corner of here. I'm just going to trim that down on my trimmer. So then I've just cut that down and I've made a piece of Misty Moonlight just to go around it. So a piece of Misty Moonlight's about 1/4 inch bigger. So then I'm just going to grab some dimensionals for the back of that. And this will be the stopper for our easel card. So I want that to go about there, so then this needs to go here so that it stops it properly. So then just to finish off, I've just got a 4 3/4 by 2 1/4 piece of basic white cardstock. I'm just going to pop that in there, and then that's where you can write your sentiment. So then there's our cute little card finished for today. And I think it's a really nice little fancy fold card. I hope that you enjoyed joining me for today's project. If you did, I'd really appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future projects. If you click the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when I've got new videos available. All of the projects that we've used to make today's card are linked in the description below, and you'll also find a host code there. If you pop the host code into your basket before you check out, then I'll send you a free gift after the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.